Jennifer?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. What is coming up for me is a resistance to possible grief in the future.
Resistance to possible grief in the future.
Yeah, so I'm like grieving now um, for like a made up place in my head. And so I'm sad and scared that I'll be miserable forever.
Okay.
And there's a triggering spot with it of just fear of divorce. But I've had it with really wanting a baby, and then that baby died. And, you know, I had spent several weeks on bed rest and wanting so badly for that baby to make it, and it didn't. And so that place of like God not coming through, you know, so God is going to let me suffer forever.
I see. So in other words, God caused my suffering.
Yeah, and this place sucks, and I don't want to feel grief.
Okay. I don't want to feel grief. Okay. So God has condemned you to grief in this situation. In the situation, let's say loss. Okay. Loss of my marriage, loss of the baby. Okay? And
Yeah,
that's the twos.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sure there's plenty, but yeah.
Loss. Okay. So and so God has or this loss means this loss means
I'm never going to get over it. I'm never going to be okay.
okay.
I'll be miserable forever. Always grieving on some level.
Okay. So this loss means I'll always be miserable.
Yep.
Is that true?
I cannot know that to be true.
Okay. So take a deep breath and confirm that. And are you really receiving that? Is it just the fact of that?
Hearing the suggestion, yeah, but when it happens, it'll be terrible.
When what happens?
Whether it's a loss or whether it's a divorce or
Okay.
whatever, if that were to happen, like that, it's would be miserable, and I might not ever get over it.
Okay. So what's driving the show here is the because as you say, you can't know the future,
Yeah, it's yes, fear of the unknown.
but you only think you know the future because you're referring to the past. And the past, the essence of the past, is this unresolved feeling that happened during the loss or the losses. Okay, so
Yes.
let's use the actual loss you experienced, the baby.
Okay.
Okay, so just before we start, get a sense of how that uh, feeling is still with you, and you're investing in it, involving with it. Okay? Again, through innocence.
Yep.
That's what we would learn to do.
I'm
So
using it
you,
for the future too.
yeah, so that then that is the energy that the mind now goes to work because you have this energy is there contained, not allowed to finish itself, and
Yep.
then so it's like it's contained within you, like you and being pressurized and pressurized, and you now your mind has a job to try and solve this for you. oh, I know this. Oh, so if you in the future, and if you shut down now, and yeah, at least this place sucks and is miserable. But if you shut down now, you'll never have to experience something worse.
Right. Yep, for sure.
Okay. But
Trying
see
to
how
protect
that's all based on the core belief: the feeling of loss is unbearable. The moment that decision was made, now armies of thoughts arise to go to battle for you to protect you from that decision. The feeling of loss is unbearable.
yeah,
Okay. So would you like to see if that's actually true?
yes, I do.
Okay. So are you breathing steadily?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so invite into your awareness the memory of this loss, the loss of the baby. And tune into the feeling that happens and let me know, is the first feeling shock or something else? The very first feeling.
The very first one is actually that it's coming, something bad is coming.
I mean, the moment when you lost, you got the new no notice, or it became obvious, the loss of the baby. Take time to tune
That's
into
kind
that
of,
moment.
there had been so much built up that there's almost a slight sense of relief of that I knew there was a known of some kind. It was almost like silence.
Okay, so tune into that and let me know when you can feel that. You hear it as a silence, and what is the energy of it?
Then there's the realization starts to set in, and then it's the gripping.
Gripping. Okay. Okay, good. Are you feeling it right now?
Yeah.
Okay. And
And then the suggestion, I'm never going to get over this.
okay. But see that that suggestion is already a diversion away from the feeling. So the gripping, and are you willing to meet it in a new way here and now?
Yeah.
Okay. So steady breathing, first of all. Notice that in that moment, the old way, you held your breath.
Yep.
So here, knowing you can have the old way back, but just for now, steady breathing as best you can to sense and feel this energy as if it's the first time, without referring to the past, referring to the future, as just energy. With as much neutrality as you can access, because it's just energy. You experience gripping many other times in your just as bodily sensations that we don't make any fuss about or resist. Childbirth is one of them. Uh, some of the other processes of digestion involve gripping from mild to intense, right? So experience it as just bodily energy as best you can. And see if you can sense openness and relaxation. The background, which is already present. The fact of this presence of relaxation is the only way, by contrast, you can sense gripping.
Yeah.
You're doing really well. Yeah. Letting it have its life, the gripping, but also in tune with what is already open, benevolent, judgment free, completely neutral. Just allowing it to reach its peak, run its course in its own way, remaining tuned into this openness, relaxation, timeless, impersonal. And let me know if you need guidance in any step along the way here, if you need guidance in turning away from thoughts into the
Yeah, I'm
silence.
guided from turning away from thoughts that it's never going to end.
Okay. So now, again, listen to those sounds, but hear them as just sounds equal to, let's say, the sound of traffic or airplane in the sky, or maybe your neighbor's dog starts barking, any or all of those.
Uh-huh.
So listen to the sounds of the mind in that way without being interested in or without giving them content, significance. What you can do is hear the sound and then shift to the silence and hear the silence, and then shift to the sound again, just as just sound, back to the silence. Once again to the sound as just noise, back to the silence. Are you sensing how you are the boss over where you place your attention?
Yes.
Very good.
And the thought sounds is kind of embarrassed to say. It's like a little bit intoxicating. It's like it's a luring place to go back to. So then I take myself back to the silence.
Yes, and do you believe you are alone in that the sounds are intoxicating, or do you have some awareness that this is the same for all of us?
The same for all of us, and I resent it.
In case you need a reminder, pick up the book Ulysses and the journey through the Sea of Sirens that he had to make. He had to pass through that sea, the intoxicating sounds that up until then, every sailor through that sea was jumped into the sea and was drowned. So he knew he had to pass through there in a new way, which was to hear the sounds, but keep his attention tied to the mast of silence. And that's how he passed through the sea. So we are equal in that we are all subject to those same intoxicating sounds. We are all equal also that we have the freedom to choose to tie our attention to the mast of silence, as you are experiencing here, your freedom. So, what are you experiencing now regarding the energy that we started with, the gripping?
It's lessened.
Okay. And is it easier now for you to rest your attention with the silence and the relaxation?
Yes.
Okay. So Just take a few deep breaths as you, again, allow the energy, whatever is left of it, to have its life until you experience it as either completely dissolving, merging with the space, or it becomes welcomed but not significant, not a threat. So allow it to run until it delivers that either one of those truths to you. It merges, or it is insignificant, not a threat.
Without the thoughts, it's not a threat.
Okay? Fine distinction. When I don't tune into the sounds, is not a threat. Does that feel more accurate for you?
When I don't give the thoughts the power.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like Ulysses, when I don't allow them to compel me to jump into the sea, when I exercise my freedom to stay tied to the mast of silence. That way the thoughts can be there. They're fine. We don't have to get rid of them.
I can really feel and understand that word courage at the moment.
Yes, dear. And again, the inspiration for that courage comes from, we recognize, oh, I went that direction so many times. It was so intoxicating to go that direction. I did it. I did it all the way. I know where it takes me by now. Infallibly, it always takes me into that misery. So now the courage is, I don't know yet where it takes me, to tune into the silence, the relaxation, and allow the energy to merge. But I want to find out.
I like that because it is going into an unknown.
Yes.
Yeah. Here's where the real courage is. It's going to an unknown.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So what are you experiencing now?
A humble quietness.
All right. So from this place, you feeling more peace,
Yeah.
openness?
Yeah.
All right. So from this place, let's revisit. The feeling of loss is unbearable. That was the mental suggestion that, you based all this indulgence in the misery on, was based on the feeling of loss is unbearable. But based on what you've experienced here, when you meet it as just energy and with your intelligence, is it true that it's unbearable?
No.
So a deep breath and confirm that no.
It's not true that it's unbearable.
Okay? And if this energy was ever to arise again, is it a command to jump into the sea of sirens, to go mental and to become reactive?
No.
Or is it more true that it's a cue to
It's
open?
mm-hmm.
And and what is the benefit of this opening, this allowing?
I don't have to be scared of the future.
Yes.
I'm scared of grief. scared of the unknown and being miserable.
Yes. So those are what you have just liberated yourself from. Making the decision, using the triggered energy as a cue to open gives you that freedom. So based on that, can you find, I don't ever want to feel that feeling of loss again. I'm willing.
I'm willing to feel the feeling of loss again. Yes.
A reason?
Because it gets me free. I've been running from this always. And
Yes.
there's freedom in stopping running and a greater capacity to love and to be present, to show it for myself, to show it for others, and to stop trying to control others. More authenticity.
Does that feel more uplifting, alive than the other way?
Yes,
Where do you have more enthusiasm to participate in life, the old way or this way?
this way.
Okay. Does this feel complete?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, dear.